Behind me is the all-new 2025 WRX TS, and while there's no actual STI variation in this VB generation of WRX, the TS is as close as you can get to being a real STI. The question is, how well does it actually measure up to true STIs of the past? Is it worth its $50,000 price tag? And at that price, is it possibly the best performance family sedan you can buy? Grab a coffee, stick around, and let's check it out. Here I am back in a rally car, baby. I'm pumped. I love this thing. I gotta be honest, not a lot has changed since I owned one in the past. I owned a 2011 WRX when I was about 20 years old, and that car was what dreams were made of, boys. If you're under 25 and you don't drive a manual, you should. If you like sports cars, you definitely should. So just note that before we jump in here. But yeah, this is the WRX TS, guys. As per usual with WRX and STI, even though it's not an STI, it has the aggressive exterior styling. Front and rear fascia have been updated. It has a beefier stance based, because of the Bridgestone tires that it's running on. In this sedan, there is no sunroof to reduce weight and increase rigidity, and it's now on Subaru's new global platform, which is about 28% more rigid than the previous generation. So a lot of thought went into making this thing performance oriented. Inside, you get heated Recaro seats. These seats are some of the best out there, guys. I've been driving in them for a week. At first, they're really bolstered. Like, you're not moving in these bad boys. You take a turn at 75 miles an hour, like, my wife was like, straight as an arrow, man. She's like, what's going on in these seats? I was like, these are Recaro race seats. That's what's going on in these things. But they are a little tight on your back. They start to mold to you. I really like them. The only thing I don't like about them is all these blue accents in here. My wife also hates those, and she's right, guys. There's too much weird, like, crayon color blue in here. It's just not a good look. But other than that, the cabin stays pretty cozy and familiar and practical. The rear seats fold flat, which is great because you can fit a full-size adult back there, although space is still a little bit tight. But I'm 5'9", I can fit behind myself, and you all know that I ride with my seat pretty far back, as I've been roasted before, but that's just how we do it in Philly. This is, as I mentioned, a 6-speed manual, which, hallelujah for a manufacturer keeping 6-speed manuals alive. It makes me so sad that there's not a lot of all-wheel drive turboed 6-speed manuals anymore, or even 5-speed manuals for that matter. The manual transmission is dying, so go buy a manual transmission. It's all pushed through the Subaru viscous all-wheel drive system, which is a little bit different than Subaru's mechanical system that used to come in the STIs, which was the DCCD system. So that's one of the things to be mindful of, but I haven't noticed any problems. Some people complain about that because the STI used to be able to shift power front and rear and make it more, track oriented and things like that. But depending on how hard you're pushing it, that might not be a problem for you. The shifter in itself is noticeably clunky, as Subaru shifters always are. I love Subaru shifters though. I mean, they're definitely clunky and notchy, or whatever you want to call it, but it feels like home to me, and it certainly served me well when I was younger, and I have no problems with it now. It feels great. Tech-wise, though, in here, you have standard, the Harman Kardon audio system, which is, I would say, like, pretty good. I'd give it about a 6 or 7 out of 10 on the audio system, but the infotainment that it's running through is really not my favorite infotainment. It's super dated. Subaru did replace it and fix it in the new Outback, and I think that system is going to be coming to this vehicle, so I'm looking forward to that when that does happen. And the highlight for me here is this fully digital tack. The digital tack in here that has the STI lettering in it, it looks just like an STI tack of the olden days. I love this thing, man. It's a great digital tack. It operates like an analog, but it's digital. It's super responsive, super sharp, very, very well done. So kudos to Subaru for doing that. Other than that, though, I really do like the interior. It's comfortable to drive, comfortable seating position, good visibility, all of the above. It's quiet, well put together. The interior is definitely a pass. But let's get under the hood now. Let's talk about some of the mechanical changes that are present here in the WRX TS. Well, here we are, guys. Let's check out the engine of this thing, and I gotta say, this thing overall is sick. It's also very quick. I'll start by telling you this is definitely way quicker than my old Subaru used to be. Really excited to see Subaru doing something like this, keeping this sort of, this lineage alive, this sort of ethos of making a really fast rally car. It seems like they're pushing the envelope a little bit further here in this engine. I really love to see that. So underneath, look, this is mostly a wheel, tire, and suspension package. The engine is, not different from the standard WRX. But with that, the TS gets some serious hardware in the hardware that is upgraded. So the adaptive dampers are upgraded from the GT trim level, and they deliver 30% less body roll and 55% less pitch. So this thing handles really, really sharp, really tight. Those adaptive dampers are very, very comfortable on the road. They soak up harsh bumps, but they're also super stiff when you pump it into Sport Plus mode in there. It's just really incredible what they did with those. I really love the ride quality. It's insane. The springs are tuned stiffer in the front and softer in the rear compared to the TR, making it really precise, really compliant, as I mentioned, but it feels great on the road. The tires here are the Bridgestone Potenza S007s, which are awesome tires, tons of grip. I've pushed them pretty good, and they are hanging on. I can tell other press folks have pushed them pretty good because there's not much rubber left on those bad boys. But if you want some true sticky grip, you might want to upgrade to something like the RE71 RS or Potenza Race as your go-to. So just check those out. And the brakes on this thing, man, can rip your neck right off your back. I mean, you slam on the brakes on this thing. You got Brembos here, 6 piston up front, 2 piston in the rear. They're mono blocks. These things bite hard. You can take it to the track. They're ready to go. Nothing to worry about. They are very, very good brakes from the factory. So note that. And then moving on to the engine, man, this new engine is sick. This FA24F is a 2.4 liter direct injection boxer from Subaru, and this thing is awesome. Still has the old boxer rumble, even though it has equal length headers like they all do now, but you can still hear that boxer compression when you're in the garage on a cold startup. It's 271 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque at the crank stock, which is pretty good. It's a low-mount turbo, good flowing cams and heads from the factory, so it's just a great factory engine. And the motor has largely proven to be reliable in the tuning community, which is something that we can't say of the old EJs out there. This has proven to be much more reliable under heavy boost and increased, horsepower. So this thing's pretty much bulletproof. And with an intake and a tune, you don't even have to do that much to it, but with an intake and a tune, people are reporting like 330 wheel horsepower, 370 pound-feet of torque. So pretty good numbers. And with an upgraded turbo and ethanol, some builds are pushing 500 horsepower on stock internals and running reliably, which is pretty wild. So most tuners think that around 500 horsepower is where this engine gives up. So just know that that's when you kind of have to start upgrading the internals. But overall, it's pretty cool to have that in a stock motor. And the real only weak link here is the gearbox, the split case manual gearbox. And if you want to upgrade it, you can drop with a couple mods. You can drop the STI gearboxes in these to kind of help shore things up. But just note that gearbox would be a weak point if you do start doing some serious mods in this thing. I know we talked about this before, but Subaru's all-wheel drive system in this is not the mechanical LSD of the past from the STIs that has the DCCD, the driver controlled center diff. This is different. This is the Subaru's regular viscous controlled system, which is a little bit different. It uses torque vectoring from the braking system to transfer power if you have to transfer power. So definitely a little bit of a different system, but honestly, I don't think if you're not pushing it that hard, you're not really going to care. It's still a solid system. So, all right, all that talking about this thing's getting me excited. Let's get it out on the road and channel our inner Ken Block. All right, 2025 WRX on some twisty roads in second. Woo! This thing really gets going. We're in Sport Plus mode right now. This thing rips. Let's keep it up. Got some nice windies here. Oh yeah. Passing a guy in a Mustang, no chance. All right, well, I'm having a little bit too much fun here, and I just remembered that all of my worst ideas always happened and started out in my buddy's STI when I was a kid. He was just a fun guy, What are you gonna do? Nothing you can do about it. That really is the ethos of this car, man. It's just having fun, and you can't help yourself but have fun in this thing. And if I had to describe the driving experience, that's what it would be. Having fun. And if you're looking for a vehicle that does it all, you can pack your family into, but also have a lot of fun with, I'd say this is your vehicle, man. The adaptive dampers are also really good. They are super stiff around turns when you're in Sport Plus, but when you hit small bumps for some reason, I got super low pro tires in this thing, and I'm not feeling a lot of vibration in the cab when I hit bumps. The suspension is very, very comfortable. I'm impressed with what they did here, very, very impressed. The brakes, man, like I said, will snap your neck right off your body, boy. These Brembos are not playing around. Very comfortable when you're driving, but they have really, really good stopping power. I think your seating position is great in here. I think it's a lot like my old WRX. I don't think they've changed it that much. I sit on the ground, I put my seat low, I feel like I'm down in the cockpit. The Recaros are awesome. They keep you super locked in. You feel like you could do 100 miles an hour in a turn in these things. Not that you should, but you feel like you could. And this gearbox is really, people complain about this gearbox, but I really don't mind it. I know it feels a little clunky and clicky, and that's just kind of like how Subarus are, but look, I've had one of these gearboxes a long time ago. I always loved it, never had any complaints with it, and it really gets the job done. And actually, it kind of feels homey if you've ever had a Subaru in the past. I love that it feels like the previous gearboxes in the old Subarus. So all in all, it's all too familiar. The rumble on the inside of the cabin does not sound like the rumble from the previous generation of Subarus that had unequal length headers. Having an equal length header does make it sound quite different inside the cab, but I gotta say it still has that low vibration, so it does still have a rumble to it. It's just not the same as it used to be, and I bet you it would still sound really good with an exhaust, so I certainly wouldn't really worry about that. And I think the header length has actually, you know, it increases performance. It's better for the twin scroll turbo. So I'd rather have that than not have it. So yeah, not a problem for me. But overall, I really do love driving this thing around. I could drive it all day long. I really don't. It's one of those vehicles. Sometimes when they drop off press vehicles, I don't want to give it back, and I'm excited to drive them. And sometimes I'm not. This is one of those vehicles, man, that I'm just excited to hop in and drive because it really just is a fun time no matter where you're going. It adds a little bit of fun to your trip. And that's what driving's all about, right? That's what cars are about. We're trying to have fun out here. You want your vehicle, particularly something like this, to be fun. And I think this absolutely checks all those boxes of being a fun vehicle. So all in all, this is a really great vehicle as a daily driver. If it's something you want to have fun in on the weekends, it can probably do both really well. And you can even take it to the track if you wanted to mod it a little bit, and you can even track it stock. So it's just a very versatile vehicle. But all right, that's enough gushing over this thing. With that, we'll get back to the final thoughts, and I'll tell you what I really think of this thing. So with that, guys, here are my final thoughts on this thing, and you probably already know where I sit. Look, I absolutely love this vehicle. This WRX TS is one of my favorite vehicles that I've driven this year from all the vehicles that I've reviewed. Now, listen, I'm not going to say it's the best in the class. I haven't driven the Civic Type R. I haven't driven the Golf R. I'm just not really a Golf guy. I think the only vehicle that I'd really probably put it up against it would be the Civic in my book. But with that said, I prefer all-wheel drive, and I think I'm a Subaru guy at heart. So this thing, man, I think for the money, you're getting a lot, you're getting a good suspension, a really, really moddable engine, which is awesome from the factory. It's also really quick from the factory. You got a usable rear seat. I don't really know what else you could want in this thing. I think it's everything that it's supposed to be, and I think Subaru hit the nail on the head with this thing. But I'll be honest, I'm tired of talking to you guys. I got to get this thing back out on the road. If you're thinking about buying one, go for it, my man. And if you like this video, please subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.